Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So, we've got a bit of a funny story for you guys here today. We have here a 31-year-old woman who writes an article titled, "Every guy that I date never wants anything serious with me after." Now, this is something that not only do I find incredibly funny, but this is something that I've been talking about on the channel for a while. And, you know, the 3.5 women who watch this channel, you have been warned, okay? Less and less men are interested in committing to women, particularly the men that women want, because dudes who have self-respect are not interested in dating 31-year-old women who go around getting hookups off of Tinder. So we have this girl's story here. Again, 31 years of age. And as we get into this story, guys, it's really interesting because she fancies herself a bit of a catch, okay? She thinks that she's quite valuable. You know, she's someone who dudes ought to pine over, and yet she just can't seem to find a guy. Okay, she goes on down here saying that she goes to the gym, she's got a good job, whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, a lot of girls, they don't seem to understand what men actually care about. Men are not interested in your career. We are not interested in the fact that you're a boss babe. Men are very simple, okay? Are you a nice, decent human being who doesn't look terrible and who's actually not going to embarrass him? But guys, before we jump into today's story, as always, guys, remember to subscribe on your way in, and don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators who will be linked in the video description, guys. Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg, they have been covering these absolutely terrible stories in addition to myself, so, you know, I'm not the only one who's pulling out my animated hair these days, guys, so make sure that you show them some love. Their channels will be linked in the video description. Now, let's jump into this story and see exactly what this woman is doing wrong. So she says, "I am so sick of this pattern happening. I will find a guy, sometimes immediately that they will say that they want nothing serious and just want bedroom fun, which I decline, and then I end up with a girlfriend weeks later." Okay, so we have a bit to unpack here. First of all, she says that she declines the dudes who say that they only want bedroom fun, which I wholeheartedly think that that is not the case at all. Guys, when girls say stories like these, you think that every single time a guy says he's only interested in a casual relationship, she's not going to take that casual relationship and then try and turn it into something after? Like, it's amazing to me how, like, people will see this and go, "Oh, wow, she's just declining all of the guys that want to get with her." No, a lot of these girls are seeing men in a purely casual capacity. They just don't want you to think that they are in the meantime. She says, "Those dudes who don't want anything serious with her will end up with a girlfriend weeks later." Guys, this is a problem that a lot of modern women seem to have, okay? Where they'll go out with a guy, the guy will say that they want nothing serious, or they'll refuse to put a label on it. And the reason why the guy does this is not because he doesn't want anything serious. He just doesn't want anything serious with you. Okay, chances are you are displaying behaviors that are incredibly unattractive to men, and guess what? Men can't tell you these things. Why? Because you lose your mind, you'll insult him, you'll call him a misogynist, okay, all of these sorts of things. When dudes say, "Hey, we're not interested in dating girls who go around hooking up with dudes off of Tinder. We're not interested in dating girls who have half questionable photos of themselves all over Instagram." These are girls who do not make good relationships, especially out here in the West, guys, where if you're someone who wants to get into a relationship, if you're someone who wants to get into a marriage, as a man in particular, you risk a hell of a lot doing so. You risk your future kids, you risk your income, you risk your future income, you risk your assets, you risk your hashtag Me Too things going on. So there's a lot to risk as a man, but let's keep going here. She says, "I meet a guy, I openly communicate what we want early on. We do couple stuff, meet friends, family, go on dates, etc. And then 2 to 3 months down the road, they change their minds completely without any explanation or warning." So let me get this straight. You are dating dudes. They're not giving you a label, and then you're surprised when they don't want a relationship with you. Absolutely astounding. The last guy even told me that he wanted to be exclusive, then 3 days later does a complete 180 and stops speaking to me. I was with someone for 1.5 years who always said that he didn't want anything serious, kept on seeing him, then we were in a relationship, but then changed his mind too after one tiny disagreement, which he even admits was trivial. So look at this. I was in a relationship with someone. No, excuse me. She was seeing a man for 1.5 years, 1.5 years, who said that he didn't want anything serious. Guys, can we get a round of applause for people who are just this genuinely, naive? Okay, it's disgusting to me, guys. I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman, but it just amazes me how people will go out there and they will try and change someone. Okay, the person might not want a relationship, they might not want anything serious, they might, have certain opinions on XYZ that you don't agree with. And girls in particular seem to be very guilty of getting into situations with these people, spending 1.5 years trying to change them, and then complaining when they don't change, guys. This is what no accountability looks like. If you are dating a guy and he clearly doesn't want anything serious with you, and you keep seeing him, that's your fault. It absolutely is. It is 100. You are at fault. It is your responsibility to take accountability. But guess what? Oftentimes these individuals never do. Let's keep going here. I am at a loss as to what I'm doing wrong here. There's no correlation to whether I have bedroom fun on the first date or after a few dates. The outcome is always the same. Isn't that funny, guys? Like, this statement right here is like, man, it doesn't matter if I make him wait 3 dates or 1 date. Nothing ever seems to change. It's just funny to me, guys, how like these girls will put up like a fake persona. They'll be like, man, maybe the guy will take me more seriously if I wait 3 dates instead of 1 this time. Jeez. But the real problem here is this woman's choosing dudes who are not interested in dating her at all. Like, they're not interested in relationships. Anyone with some eyeballs and, a head on their shoulders is going to tell her that. But of course, she doesn't want to see it. Actually, a lot of her girlfriends, it's funny because girls will sit there and their friends will say, oh, you should go find a guy who actually cares and, find a guy who's going to treat you like the queen you are. And then they never listen, unironically. It's absolutely hilarious. She goes on to say, I'm a nice girl. I am kind. I'm funny. Okay, so she had the first part here. She's nice and she's kind. And then we kind of veer off. She says, I'm funny. I'm in shape. I go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week and get positive comments a lot by guys. I'm good looking and humble, apparently. She eats healthy. She has lots of friends. She has hobbies and has a busy life with work, friends, etc. Everyone I talk to says that I deserve the world, and one day I will, but I'm starting to think that my one day will never come. Oh, that's a bit of a rough one right there, guys. I'm starting to think my Prince Charming, my dude who is severely out of my league, the man who I have no business trying to lock down. I'm starting to think that he might not commit to me. I'm starting to think that that guy who's incredibly tall, the guy who's witty, who makes a lot of money, who's just incredibly attractive, hits the gym. I'm starting to think that these guys who look at me, they match with me on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, whatever, I get with them after the 3rd date. It's just amazing how one day, that day where that guy will commit to me is never going to come. Really, you don't say. Guys, the absolute delusion you have to live in here, and, there's something to be said for this woman's friends here who gas her up, and this is the problem that a lot of girls run into, is their friends will never actually tell them the truth. Their friends will never actually tell them the things that are going to help them a lot of the times. Unfortunately, they'll sit there and say, you know what, Queen, you deserve the world, you're fantastic, everything's going to be fine. Okay, you're going to get your Prince Charming eventually. And then all of a sudden, like this woman here, she says she's 31 years of age. She's had 21 to 23, ever since the age of 8. You could have had your boyfriend, you could have had your husband a very long time ago. Okay, so just absolutely living in delusion world right here. She says, every guy has acted like they wanted to be with me, and when I spoke about it, they agree they want the same thing too, and soon after end up saying that they actually don't, and then what's worse, get mad at me for questioning their behavior, making me feel crazy. Oh, what? You're questioning their behavior of not committing to you? Like, yeah, hold these men accountable for not committing to you. And guys, this is the crazy part about stories like these, is like they'll always try and blame it on the dude, like, oh, he was dishonest about his intentions, he wasn't clear about everything. Let me make one thing clear, okay? If the dude is not clear with you, he's probably just using you for bedroom fun. Okay, like, oh, he gave me a label one week, but then the next week he didn't, and but he said that he liked me, and then he said that he didn't. If this dude is making you feel unsure, chances are he probably doesn't actually care about you. It's really simple, but they'll still continue to chase the guys who make them feel uncertain. So she says, blah, blah, blah. They end up saying that they actually don't want anything serious, and then what's worse, they get mad at me. Now my judgment is all off. I feel like no matter what, guys will never want to be with me, really. She says, I'm 31 years of age, and she says, can I say that I am not short of options by any means? The dudes that I have chosen from my options are the ones who end up acting this way. I'm not choosing to date guys who haven't already shown very much interest from the start. Really? How does that square up with dating a guy for 1.5 years that didn't give you a label? How does this, guys, look at this, right? Look at the the cognitive dissonance you have to have in order to write a sentence like this. I'm not choosing to date guys who haven't already shown very much interest from the start, but up here she says, I was with someone for 1.5 years who always said that he didn't want anything serious. You see, this is the problem. You can't even logically put together your own thoughts, right? Because you have such a high level of cognitive dissonance that you don't even know what the hell is going on. You're going out there, you're choosing to date these men. You just don't want to take accountability for your own choices. She says, this is not my whole life experience. It's recent, of the last 4-ish years. I have had meaningful relationships in the past. One of 4 years from the age of 18 to 22. One of 2 years from the ages of 23 to 25. Another of 2 years to 25 to 27. And last one off, but official for 1.5 years. This doesn't even count. The guy doesn't even want to be with you. Dating others between 27 and 31, just to clarify. And guys, these are the people. Isn't it amazing to think this girl right here, if you asked her, she would tell you that she's a monogamous individual. You are not monogamous. You are perhaps a serial monogamist. You go from guy to guy. Look at this. Okay, so we've got 1 relationship, 2 relationship, 3 relationship, 4 relationships that wasn't really a relationship, and then a bunch of other guys between 27 and 31. You cannot convince me that these girls are monogamous by nature, guys. Absolutely not. Let's take a look at some of these comments and see if anyone's held her accountable. She says, sounds like they lie about wanting to hook up and then bail when they realize it's not a possibility and pursue something easily more obtainable. Let's talk about this for a second. It's actually a very strong possibility that the man hooks up with this woman. This is the kind of individual I'm talking about, guys, where they just believe what the girl says. She's like, oh yeah, man, I just turned down these guys who aren't looking for anything serious, even though the woman in the post literally said that she got with a dude for 1.5 years without any serious label. And this individual is met like, man, yeah, those men, they're just lying to hook up, but it's a good thing she's not doing it. Like, she absolutely is. And she's been easily obtainable the whole time. That's exactly the problem. Let's continue into some more comments here. She says, this individual here says, you don't understand how men will mask themselves to be whoever they want to be in the moment. She can only do what we all do in this scenario, which is meet someone, get to know them, build trust for them, and hope they are who they say that they are. These men are not even, like a lot of the times, not even saying that they're looking for anything serious. Like, let's just use some common sense here. So it's not her that is the common denominator. It is these guys pretending who's the common denominator. Guys, I love these stories. And the reason why I love these stories is not because, like, they're inherently good. But the good thing to come out of these stories, rather, is that we as men, we can look at them and go, wait a minute, none of this bullcrap adds up. None of it makes any sense. If you set the facts side by side, nothing here has any logical consistency at all, and yet the woman is the victim in the situation. Right? It's important for men not to fall into these situations, guys, because most guys would look at a story like this and they would say, you know what? The girl is the victim. She's had it very hard. I'm sorry all the men lied to her. But what you've got to understand is that she is choosing these men who are lying to her. She's even choosing the guys who are straight up being honest, saying that they don't want to have anything serious with her. Guys, it is very clear, for the most part, in the large majority of cases, when men are not going to commit to women. Okay, the problem is these girls don't want to see it. They'll look at the red flags. There's even memes on Facebook about this crap, for goodness sake, okay? About how, oh, call me a bull because I like all these red flags, and you've got all the women heart reacting and laughing to all this bull crap, guys. They are choosing the men who they know are not going to commit to them, but they just hope that he would. Going up here, guys, this is fantastic, okay? We're going to wrap up this story here by taking a look at this particular part, okay? Look at this. She says, can I say, I am not short of options by any means. The dudes that I have chosen from my options are the ones who end up acting this way. Right? But of course, guys, we have to take no accountability for the fact that these are the men that she has chosen. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Let us know your thoughts, your comments below. It's been a little while since I've done a video, guys, taking a little bit of a social media break. I just want to say as well, guys, if I don't announce on the YouTube that I'm leaving YouTube or whatever, I will be back. Chances are I just need a little bit of a break from reading these absolute clowns on the internet. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators. As always, will be linked in the video description. Hadan from Peace of Mind on the left, and Detective Warg. Because, guys, when I'm not out here covering this clownery, you can be rest assured that other members will be doing so. So make sure that you go and show them some love. And as always, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves. And I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hadan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube. And supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube, because, to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.